Let's now look at how the CKLA design principles align with each literacy skill. The first design principle says that CKLA directly instructs in those oral language skills, blending and segmenting, and underlie and parallel reading and writing skills. Beginning in kindergarten, CKLA focuses on sounds, or phonemes, as the primary organizing principle of the program, rather than letters. Early kindergarten lessons focus on the introduction of sound letter spellings rather than letter names in order to decrease the cognitive load on students. Letter names are introduced in Unit 9 of kindergarten after students have mastered most of the basic code. This will help to avoid confusion with students where they may try to read by saying the letter name rather than the sound. Phonemic and phonological awareness is critical to the developmental trajectory students follow when learning to read. This slide shows the progression with activities from CKLA lessons inside each box. The sounds are the basis of students being able to read rather than letters. The next design principle is that CKLA teaches distinction between sounds and spellings using the most frequent or least ambiguous sounds first. CKLA begins phonics instruction with a sounds-first approach, then attaches those sounds to spellings. CKLA begins by teaching the most common or least ambiguous spelling for a sound and later moves into spelling alternatives for sounds that can be spelled in several different ways. In CKLA, all 150 spellings for the 44 sounds in English will be taught in an intentionally sequenced progression from kindergarten through grade 2. The spellings inside the orange box represent the basic code that will be taught in kindergarten. The spellings inside the blue box represent the advanced code that will be taught in grades 1 and 2. In grade 3, foundational skills continue to be reinforced with a new emphasis on word morphology. Students analyze the structure of words and parts of words, such as stems, root words, prefixes, and suffixes. They will also examine parts of speech, intonation, and stress, and the ways context can change a word's pronunciation and meaning. These skills are reinforced through activity pages and readers that accompany each unit of instruction. The text in the student readers were written so that only the letter-sound correspondences that have been explicitly taught are encountered by students, and thus 100% decodable. Here is a page from the Kindergarten Unit 6 reader. Students have learned the letter-sound correspondences for all of the letters. Here is an example from the end of kindergarten, the Unit 10 reader. Students have just learned the EE spelling for the sound E. So you can see that it has been highlighted in bold. You can see the increase in students' phonics knowledge from Unit 6 to Unit 10. This image comes from the Unit 1 reader in first grade. Students have just learned the tricky word said, so you can see that it is highlighted on the page. Finally, here is an image from the Unit 6 reader in second grade. At this point, students have learned all the pieces of the code and have made the transition from learning to read to reading to learn. The third design principle in CKLA is that there is a systematic practice and reinforcement of code-related skills, which is necessary for building automaticity. The CKLA phonics program explicitly weaves in systematic practice across lessons, units, and grades. It introduces an average of 5 to 10 letter-sound relationships within each unit of instruction. Each unit lasts approximately 2 to 3 weeks. The program provides daily lessons in phonics with a set of activities for student practice. Additionally, opportunities for extended practice through independent and/or small group reading or writing activities are included. For example, children may be responding to questions from texts, using words in sentence-level work, or applying their knowledge of sound spelling correspondence within the plain draft and edit processes of various writing genres that they are taught.